original Rob Zombie bass player from the 90s.
Yeah, it's when he started his solo career. I guess he's rejoining Rob Zombie. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our new episode of Music Maniacs. Me, YR, and Ark and YR. And tonight, in our continuing series of albums that made a huge impact, we're going to be looking at the 1976 album Hotel California by the Eagles. And this album made a big impact for the band as well.
Yeah, right before, and I'll get more into it when we dive more into it. But remind me, right, it was like a month or two before COVID hit.
Yes.
Like became a thing. I went to the Eagles in concert, the real.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
They were featuring the playing the Hotel California album front to back, the whole thing,
In its
So,
entirety, yes, which is
and
good.
then they took a break and played all the other hits. It was close to like a 4-hour show. I mean, it was probably the greatest concert next to Metallica I've ever been to. But I went to a lot this year and past year, and man, it was great. I mean, it was. I didn't record anything. I wasn't in there doing the videos, anything like that at the time. But I'm kicking myself. I mean, I'm gonna try to go to their farewell this year, but it's like $400 for nosebleeds on that.
Damn, holy cow.
That's not included tax.
Man.
I mean, it's like a $500 ticket for nosebleeds in Texas. So,
Wow, man, that's a shock. I remember a friend of mine back in Michigan. Her name is Eastside Mary. She was streaming a good part of the recent concert at the Little Caesars Arena. And I guess probably one of the big reasons why the tickets are so high is because all the stage equipment and the films that run from the back onto the screen while the band plays. They did that a lot for most of the songs.
well, well, it is worth it. $500 nosebleed. To me, I mean, you get four. It was like 3.5, 4 hour, very long, very long. And some points I get what they call crowd, not anxiety, but crowd is another word for it. It's a term like you get tired.
Hypertension?
No, what's another
Oh.
word for tired? Like you're tired, you're worn out.
That's a good question. I've only known two words: worn out or tired. That's about it. So I'm
It is
thinking,
a thing.
Fatigued.
Fatigue, yeah, crowd
ah,
fatigue. Crowd
okay,
fatigue. It is a thing. I don't drink like that, so maybe I need to start doing that. But, um, I do get fatigued. Not necessarily tired, but like I need to stretch. I need to, But it was like that. But it was definitely one of the best. I mean, the songs sounded just like on the album, 100%
yep,
live. It was Glenn Fry's son on that. That was on
yes.
in one.
Deacon, his name is.
Um, I mean, obviously, I mean, it was everything you could think. I mean, it was great. It was great, but we're gonna get into all
And
that.
also,
It's in the
and also
news.
Vince Gill, credit to him as well.
Yes. This is Music Mongoloids new show.
Okay.
And
Oh,
now,
please.
Brown, did you hear any of that? Because Paul 3 is very, and I'm not saying I'm a good guitarist at all. I really don't. I know more about the actual physical guitar and collecting and blah 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 than actually playing it, right? But I mean, it's my own fault. But Paul 3, I've been using this whammy bar plus the
Nice.
wah pedal, Dr. Brown,
Yeah,
on
I
that.
heard it. I heard it on one of your streams, which you later put in private. I was listening when you were doing that. You were doing it with Grinder. I tried to play along with it, but the problem is I detuned my guitar to an open D,
Why
to a
do
low open D.
what do most of the Maiden, Priest, all that? What do they mostly tune their guitars in? Like the gods, the guitar gods.
Mostly they tuned it to the standard E.
Really? All right.
Yes, they do. Yeah, I know Sabbath, Pantera, a few others, Motley Crue included. They usually detune their guitars to the open low D. So that way it sounds a lot more heavier. It sounds like, and the strings are mostly more easier to grasp. They're a lot more looser. I
Well,
know Tony.
I use the thinner string. I use the pink.
Thinner strings, I guess, or the Yeah, I know that's what Tony Iommi does. He uses the thinnest strings possibly because of the two fingertips on his right hand being clipped off.
Ball strings.
Hmm.
And have you seen the ground?
But your voice is cutting out, man.
Uh-oh. Oh, Brown going in and out.
Dive into what?
He's
I think he
breaking
said,
up.
yeah, I know. I noticed that. Yeah, I guess he's got to fix his mic. All right, so let's talk about this album, Hotel California,
I
which
thought he had
came out.
some news, but I guess not.
I guess so. We'll wait till YR gets his stuff fixed, and we'll take it from there. If he has some music news, then we'll hold off on our main topic. But in the meantime, let's get to the album, Hotel California. Came
Real
out.
quick,
There you are.
around the music news, real quick. The music. Let me do a quick run through on
Go right
Blabbermouth.
ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Uh, oh shit, Sammy Hagar. I'll read this one because I'm gonna try to see this tour 2 times.
Mm.
Sammy Hagar says 2024 was the right time for the Best of All Worlds tour. I don't know how much longer I can do it.
Mm.
In a new interview with AZ Central, Sammy Hagar discussed his upcoming summer 2020 tour. Blah, blah, blah. It'll largely focus on the music of Van Halen. Love of War is going to be there. Blah blah blah. They're going to do. We're going to play about 45 minutes to an hour of about an hour of Van Halen, and then 45 minutes to an hour of Sammy solo and Montrose.
I
What
see
he's
there.
saying. We're gonna really go heavy on Van Halen. Play 4 or 5 of Sammy's greatest hits. You know, One Way to Rock, Heavy Metal, I Can't Drive, Mas Tequila songs you got to play. One
Yep.
Montrose, Chicken Foot, and a whole lot of Van Halen, basically on that.
And we know which Montrose they're going to be doing. Rock Candy, obviously.
I don't know. I heard him do the Bad Motor Finger at the
You mean a Bad Motor Scooter?
Bad Motor Scooter at Eddie Trunk's birthday thing. At not birthday, but
In
40th.
that case, they should probably do that song along with Rock Candy there, because those are the two main songs that Hagar did with Montrose. No doubt about that.
Is Monty Montrose still alive?
No, he passed away years ago, unfortunately, sadly.
Another good guitar player that was underrated.
I know, exactly. He also did work with Edgar Winter, for I understand, as well.
You said Michael Anthony and I 20 years ago did a reunion, and it's been 20 years this year. I don't have another 20 years to be waiting on Alex Van Halen, who's the only guy left. So he didn't want to do it. You know what? I guess just don't like playing without his brother. Don't blame him.
Yeah, that is a kind of hard thing to play with somebody else who isn't your brother, who you've been on stage with and in the studio for ages and ages. It's going to feel different no matter what.
So yeah, basically he's saying, he just might. It's basically saying like this probably may be his last deal. Without saying it, because he don't want to call it a farewell. He said it on the Eddie Trunk show a couple months ago that he don't want.
Then you'll end up like Kiss having like 4 farewell
tours. What I'm saying, like when you label these tours farewell, like people still have that itch years later. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but still,
that's true. There,
when these people get in like their mid 70s, it's pretty much like I kind of believe them. Like Motley Crue, when they did their thing, they weren't in their mid 70s. They still. Look what they're doing now. New songs coming out. John 5 on that. All that stuff.
Yeah.
I might see. I'm pretty because my friend's going to Tool, and
nice.
Tool is going to be in town Friday, but it's really expensive, like $200 nosebleed. So my friend paid $70 for Oklahoma City.
Wow.
Oklahoma City, and that's a 4-hour drive. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying to fucking be on the road for 8 hours. And this Tool show, they're only going to do like one song from the, this is a newer album tour type deal.
Yes.
I mean, Tool's Tool, like they don't do live shows much, right? It's like a thing that they
Yeah,
don't.
and they do deliver live because a friend of mine who on Facebook who lives in Mississippi, she streamed on Facebook of some of their live show, and it did
SC
sound
one,
good,
SC
definitely for
saying
sure.
Tool sucks in the chat. I mean, look, there's a few songs. I mean, it's a little too proggy for me. Like I appreciate the prog stuff, like obviously Rush, blah blah blah, and then obviously Tools,
Dream Theater.
90s, but it's definitely proggy, alternative, metalish type of music there, and it's good. Like it's great. They have a signature sound when you hear them. You tell it's cool, and definitely the voice, Maynard. I'm bummed out, but you can't go to every concert, Brown. I'm learning
I
this.
know, yeah, that is true there.
And
Well,
that's
are
what I
you
said.
planning?
I'm learning as well because right before the holidays, the tickets here in Texas were like $80 for nosebleeds. But
Yeah,
like 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas hit, they all went up to like 150, and then now they're up to like 200 or so, and
just
it's
making that
ridiculous.
money. That's about it.
But they'll come back. I mean, this isn't no farewell on them, but uh, listen, this Amy Hagar tour this year, I would recommend people go to that. Honestly, the Rob Zombie Ministry Alice Cooper
Alice
tour.
Cooper tour. Yeah, they're going to be stopping by the Cynthia Woods Pavilion
Did you
later
see
on
the
this
Tampa?
year.
Did you see the Tampa show though?
Yeah, I would like to see it. Definitely want to check that out. If it's
Yeah, they're going to be in a couple places in Florida in your area, so
nice.
definitely worth it. And Ministry, it'll be cool if you could see Ministry there and their solo tour this year with
Yeah,
Gary
definitely
Newman.
be.
That would be. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
And
try to
Gary,
hit both. I'm gonna try to hit both on that.
right? So, and definitely Gary Newman is someone you should start listening to in the near future because he put out some good records and songs.
I did it in time. I did that with Dr. Brown.
Cars. Well, let's
Yeah,
not forget Down in the Park, which Marilyn Manson and the Foo Fighters covered a couple times.
you know the song "Down in a Butthole" by
Down in the Butt. What?
no, "Down in a Hole" by
Alice in Chains.
Jane Brother. SC says in the chat, Tool is too cringe, probably because May wears that bra, like the fake boobs. Remember? And SC is a big Breaking Benjamin fan
Mm.
on that. So I mean, Breaking Benjamin, a lot of these newer rock acts have a big Hispanic following.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting on that.
Mm-hmm.
But let me look up through the news real quick. So
Go
definitely
ahead.
recommend that one. Ace Frehley on his absence from the Kiss final show. I did try, but I couldn't make it happen. Ace Frehley says from this interview from Rock Candy, says fans would have constantly reached out to me and say, Ace, please come back to the band. Frehley explains, so the fans were and are my primary motivators, and I want them to know that I did try, but I couldn't make it happen. They never asked me. Really dismisses the idea that his well-documented troubles with drugs and alcohol could ever be a reason for his former bandmates, Kiss leaders, Simmons and Stanley, not to reach out to him. I'm sober, and all my friends and associates will tell you as much. He stated categorically, I got to the point in life where drugs and alcohol had taken me over, and I'm just so happy to be away from all that. Despite the much reported risk with Simmons and Stanley many years, nevertheless, Frehley insists that he still has affection for both of them. He also states, I want people to know that I do love Paul and Gene. He said, I wish things would have been different, but it wasn't to be meant to be. Nor does Fraley hold any animosity towards his replacement, Tommy Thayer. So that's nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not hating. Fraley's doing his solo. He's only going to be doing solo stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it was kind of cringe, to be honest. Like, not cringe, but he's definitely staying too late for the party on these concerts. Like, but in the back of my mind, we're not looking for the voice. Ace Frehley, it's not about the voice on that. And obviously when you're drinking, everything sounds way better. But he's definitely staying too long for the party. Maybe he should have retired 10 years ago, Ace Frehley with Kiss, but he wants to do a solo. He can still play guitar, and it's still the
He does,
nostalgia.
yes.
Like this, the nostalgia fills the air. The smoke. The blinking guitar, everything like that. It all. He has 4 or 5 Les Pauls on the rack in the back there, and it's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, it saddens all of us that they could at least allowed Ace and Peter to join them on stage for that last run in Madison Square Garden like they did, but I guess what it was that there were so many issues between those two guys, both sides of the group, and I guess Gina Paul is like, fuck it, we'll carry on with Tommy and Eric in their place and move forward.
Well, Gene Simmons doing solo stuff,
That's right. He's got the Gene Simmons band going on, I guess, in the near future. And of course, I guess Paul Stanley.
What the hell?
Paul 3, he's at band practice right now, guys. Paul 3, we're on the music show. You're live on YouTube on the music show, brother.
Paul 3, what's up?
Quick mute on him, but he's playing that's a real American Stratocaster Fender Brown.
I see it. Yeah, it looks nice,
it is
man.
American
Way
made,
nice.
mine's Mexican made, but they look the same color. He's jamming, man. He looks like he's in a garage.
I see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, his band is playing right now, and like we said, he is muted because it is way loud. Too loud
he's
for us to understand.
On the tribute bands, but Eddie Trunk was talking about that the other day. Some guy called in about the Back in Black band and shouted them out. But they were like, if you're 40, 50, 60, 70 years old and you want to play live music and kind of live that dream, touring, whether it's local, whatever, the tribute thing is the way to go. Now, Brown, have you ever thought it? Now, Brown, if I had your musical guitar talents and I was at your age, because you don't really see young, 20, 30. I mean, you see cover bands here and there, right? But everyone's 50, 60 years old in these bands. I'm seeing
30s, 40s, correct. Absolutely.
So have you ever thought about being a guitarist in a tribute band?
I don't know. There was a couple times I thought about maybe being playing in a Black Sabbath tribute band sometime. That was years ago.
Yes, you should hit that.
Yeah.
Brian, you got to get the SG. You got to get the Epiphone.
I want to get me the Epiphone with the crosses on the fretboard like Tony Iommi has. That would be badass.
Really sound like when they do the sound test with Epiphones and then the Epiphone or Gibson, like it sounds the same to me. You could tell the real Gibson is like kind of beefier sounding, but the Epiphone, Gibsons, SG, all that, they're for $700, $800, $900, which they usually cost. It's not bad, you can get them for like $600, $700, $800 type deal. These Epiphone Les Pauls, these Epiphone SGs, and I don't know about the weight because I know like my Stratocaster is pretty damn heavy compared to my other guitars.
Well, mine is pretty lightweight right here, this guitar here, but then again, it is a Strat copy. It's a Lynx, so exactly, yeah. So what do I know?
Have you ever been in a band, Earl?
I've jammed, not really, but I have jammed with some people many times before. One of them being a dude named Alan back in Michigan in the later 90s.
But I think at the end of the day, the amp is more important than the guitar because some of these tributes, I mean, like the Judas Priest one, he uses like the starter SG Epiphone, like $200 guitar, but it sounds like, I mean, he's got it plugged into a Mesa Boogie amp, right? A cabinet deal, and it's really about the amp and the effects and the pedals you have. Like Brown, you have that $100 guitar, $200 starting guitar, but when you play it, it's magic,
It is, yeah. That's from years of listening, years of playing, years of learning things. Like learning how to detune your guitar. I did a video about doing that. I'll probably sometime soon probably detune it to an open C.
Hey, YR, were you ever in a band?
Oh no, no, I'm not that good.
Am I the one of the only three that was actually in a band?
Really?
Maybe so, yeah. Ark was in the band. He has a few clips of his old group from 2012 on his channel.
I did.
He did, yes.
What was it
And he's,
original covers, tribute? What kind of?
We basically did covers.
yeah,
What did you play? Or sing?
classic
Basically
rock.
guitar and did some vocal.
It was
Wow.
classic rock songs, CCR and a few others.
Yeah, let's see. Who'll Stop the Rain? Bad
Yep.
Moon Rising.
Hmm.
We even did Whiter Shade of Pale.
Nice.
Daydream Believer.
Hmm. The Monkees and a few others to boot.
No Matter What.
When
Good
did y'all
song.
get? When did y'all ever own this Hotel California album? Do y'all remember when it came out?
Oh, yeah. I bought it when it came out.
Yeah, I've listened to it many times. I remember listening to it at one of our old libraries back in Southeast Michigan. I was listening to it a few times there. I remember songs on that album being played continuously on the radio, the title cut and Life in the Fast Lane. Those were, in fact, I remember there was a 8-track of that album at a neighbor's house that I would listen to a lot of times whenever I would come over and play games and do stuff with the neighborhood kids.
Well, this is
Like
when you were
a
in
wee
elementary
kid.
school, right?
No, actually, it was in between that, between my teenage years and elementary. I think it was about 11 or 12 at that time. I remember seeing the 8-track. I was hearing the songs from it, including Life in the Fast Lane. I thought this is a pretty good song.
Okay. Now the question is, the Eagles had several albums before that, several albums after that. Why is that one landmark? Let's get into that.
I think
There's
probably
some hits
because,
on that album.
yeah,
That
that's true. A lot of hits.
like
There are
even
about
the
three,
average person, if
Well, I'm
you played
thinking the change by hitting Joe Walsh in the group had a lot to do with it.
maybe so,
the
yeah.
first
And
album
plus,
with Joe Walsh,
yes, it was. It was
what?
introduced him as one of their first new members of the group. He replaced their original guitarist. I think his name was Bertie Leadon, I guess.
I think
And it
so.
was and it was also the last album that featured their late bass player, Randy Meisner, who you may remember had passed away a long, long while back. And I guess the concept of the Hotel California was definitely intriguing as well. In fact, I have the Wikipedia up here, and I'll read it for you right now, what it has to say. Let's see. It says, the first song, the title cut, Don Henley said one of the themes of the songs is on the album. He said, quote, they're the same themes that run through all of our work: loss of innocence, the cost of naiveness, the perils of fame, of excess, exploration of the dark underbelly of the American dream, idealism, idealism realized and idealism throned, illusion versus reality, the difficulties of balancing loving relationships and work, trying to separate, or excuse me, trying to square the conflicting relationship between business and art, the corruption of politics, the fading away of the 60s dream of peace, love, and understanding. And on the title Hotel California, Don Henley said that the word California carries with it all kinds of connotations, powerful imagery,
Connotations.
connotations, thank you, powerful imagery, mystique, etc., that fires the imagination of people in all quarters of the globe. There's a built in mythology that comes with that word, an American cultural mythology that has been created by both the film and the music industry. And in an interview with the Dutch magazine Zigzag shortly before the album's release, Henley said, quote, "This is a concept album."
Yeah. Love that magazine. You've heard of
There's
that?
I've only heard of it until now. There's, well, it's a European magazine, so what do I know? There's no way in to hide it. It's not set in the Old West, the cowboy thing, you know. It's more urban this time. It's our bicentennial year, 1976. You know, the country is 200 years old. So we figured since we are the Eagles and the eagle is our national symbol, that we are obliged to make some kind of a little bicentennial statement using California as a microcosm. Microcosm, thank you again, of the whole United States or the whole world, if you will, to try and wake people up and say, we've been okay so far for 200 years, but we're going to have to change if we're going to continue to be around.
Yeah, we're literally watching Paul 3 do band practice right now for his band.
I'm watching it right now. It's just as well.
It's on mute, guys, but
I know, yeah.
Saxophone player. What do they play? Bob Seger hits?
I'm not too sure, but it's hard to make out when he first came in through in the call.
Heck yeah, our band did turn. One of my bands did turn the page.
Ooh.
All right, now there's a big controversy about. Actually, I should brought up. Let me rephrase that. There's another controversy about the title song for that album. I guess some Christian fundamentalists linked the song to some satanic imagery or some storytelling. And some people said it was about being involved in the Church of Satan because of the lyrics like, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969, or hear the voices walking to the...
All that was crazy back in 70s, 80s, right, Brown? The Christian, you know.
Yeah, the satanic
stab
panic,
it with their steely knives.
Yep,
and
exactly.
you look at that music
they couldn't
now,
kill the beast.
You look at the music from 50, 40 years ago these days, like even Motley Crue, that they were saying it is so innocent, the music back then these days compared to the music now, the trash, the rap, the crap. Rap is crap, guys.
Especially today's rap, because all it is about, getting tattoos over their faces, sporting, golden grills as teeth.
Fuck Donald Trump. Like, come on.
Banging bitches left and right.
Now, I did hear the story, and I believe it was, and y'all might know this. If y'all don't know this, then I think I'm right on this, but I believe it was Geezer Butler telling the story because he's real good friends with Eddie Trunk. So he comes on the show and he's on Eddie Trunk's bowling team.
Yes.
He was saying that the Eagles and Black Sabbath shared the same recording studio at one point.
Really?
And that the Eagles, Black Sabbath partied back then. The Eagles did so much cocaine that after the Eagles recorded, it was Sabbath's turn. Sabbath came in and they were getting cocaine for, in the keyboards and all that crumb. So it was literally filled with, it was
cocaine all over the place, and they were snorting what was left of it.
Huge partiers. Huge partiers. I know a lot of people were back in the day, blah, 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 but to make that music, that's, I guess when you're drinking, like Eagle, when you, like, it's a more sophisticated type of music. I feel like the Eagles, like more of the higher
soft rock, soft rock,
right?
Yeah, more mature than what Sabbath and Aerosmith were putting out at that time. Well, let's not forget Aerosmith. Dear Joe Perry and Steven Tyler were often known as the Toxic Twins at one point.
Dr. Brown or Ark back in like late 70s, 80s, did y'all ever see did you ever see any cocaine from that
No.
time?
No.
So it's
Never.
not like they make it like they say everyone did it back in the day, like it was popular, but it's not like smoking a cigarette where you see people doing it out in the open. Like I guess people still kept it behind the scenes, but I feel like that was very popular back in the day on that. You know what I'm saying?
Weed was popular, cocaine was popular, I guess the one drug that was kind of like still on the down low, which people really spoke about, was heroin.
You ever mess with that, guys, or no?
Oh,
Never, never, never. You know I'm drug free. I've always been drug free. I don't even smoke a damn cigarette.
I know back in back like I guess 2005, SC Steve had a heroin problem. So he's obviously sober now, but he's a big heroin junkie in the Jersey area, in the alleyways. But
oh, really?
You appreciate that ceiling fan, and it actually is that like hardwood panels for the propellers? Is that actually hardwood wood grain?
I think so. I believe so.
Yo, so Brown's really got like, my ceiling fan is just white, and then it has the globe around the light. Brown has 3 separate lights with the 3.
I had that with the white. Yeah.
That one's nice, Brown.
Yeah, it is. I appreciate it. The reason I have this other light here because the light up above me with the fans up above are way extremely bright, and to be on camera, it will possibly interfere with my image.
Yeah, you have a lamp, right?
Yes, I do. I have it right in the back. And I guess another concept, according to Don Henley in an interview, that I guess it was the idea of the city of LA being a hotel altogether. One of those little things that musicians often come up with a lot of times when they come up with songs, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because you can check out, but you'll never leave.
Yeah, which, by the way, was...
You can never check out.
Yeah. You can check out anytime, but you can never leave. I think some Republican politician was using that towards some program that the Democrat Party was coming up with at that time. I remember hearing about this back in Michigan, and they used that exact quote from that song as a description for this particular idea that the Democrats were coming up with. How it sucks you in and you cannot get out of it.
Well, a lot of the Eagles, I think, are liberals on that. So, unfortunately,
maybe so. Yeah.
A lot of this music artists do support. I mean, look at the whole Taylor Swift deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
like Kid Rock,
Nugent.
Kid Rock, Aaron Lewis, and Ted Nugent all get murdered for liking Trump. Right?
I know, yeah, because the thing is,
don't shit on Taylor Swift. Like, it's pretty sickening, man. But look, back in the day, like, I couldn't even imagine being in the prime 70s, 80s, and we can call it part of the 90s for these bands, like for this music coming out at the time. It was popular. When Hotel California, the songs off the album or whatever, you heard it on the radio when it first came out. That's what everyone was listening to. So there was no, obviously there's different genres, but I feel like rock and, a little bit of that pop in the 80s, but rock as a whole, classic rock is timeless.
It is. It is timeless. So, in fact, another band that was did extremely well after the Eagles was Fleetwood Mac. The album Rumors, which, and by the way, we got to look into sometime soon.
Who do you like better, Fleetwood Mac or the Eagles?
Eagles.
I would have to say both because both bands put up.
Got to pick one.
Desert Island album.
I would have to say probably Fleetwood Mac because the Rumors album was based on a lot of issues that the band was having with one another at that time. What?
Like, really? You don't
What?
stay with the Eagles like that?
I do like the Eagles, definitely. They are a good group, no doubt about that. In fact,
I'll take the
I'm
Baker
surprised
Boys
they didn't
over
put out their
Eagles.
own rumors because the band members used to
Yeah.
fight with one another.
I take a men's voice or a women's voice for music, personally. I see where you're coming from, but Eagles, man. I mean, there was different. There was soft Eagles. Then when they brought in Walsh, it was a little bit more guitar sounding.
Exactly.
And I don't mind Don Felder either. Like, people say he's a big asshole and a prick, but I think he's great.
You know what? It fits to say that Don Felder, he was one of the more hard rocking guys of the band because you may remember the song Heavy Metal, which he put it out for the movie of the same name back in 1981. That was massively played on radio a lot. He also had a song called Bad Girls a year later, which was pretty dang good. And why he's not involved with the current Eagles lineup for the past couple of years is beyond me because I know he was involved with the reunion back in the early 90s. Remember the Hell Freezes Over tour and album and performance they did on MTV?
Yes.
Yeah, that made big news because apparently when they broke up in 1980, they were asked, when will the Eagles get back together? And their response would be, when hell freezes over, because there was lots of arguing between the band members. Lots of arguing. In fact, Felder said in an interview he thought he joined a band that was about to break up.
I feel like Don Henley, wasn't he always kind of like an asshole? It's like,
I'm not
I gathered pretty much.
Big ego type deal.
Maybe so. I don't know. I never had a beer brew with the guy, so I would not know. But one person should be acknowledged. It's Glenn Fry.
He did a solo thing with the Boys of Summer on that.
Yep.
Did you ever like that song, or is it too poppy for you?
Too cheesy and too poppy for me. But there was a once.
I like Sunset Grill.
Yeah, there's one song. There was one song I liked from Henley that really stood out. Was called Johnny Can't Read. That came out in 1982, a couple years after. Oh, we cannot forget his song Dirty Laundry. That was a big hit on the radio because after the Eagles broke up, yep.
Wow.
Well, what?
Oh, I forgot that song.
Yeah, that was a big hit on the radio.
I played that on that Eagles tour I went and saw because they definitely played Boys of Summer. I remember it, but
wow, interesting.
Because I know they did they did like a James Gang song. They did obviously Walsh's solo stuff, a couple of his, 3 or 4 of his stuff.
Did you do any Glenn Fry stuff in honor of him?
What is that one called? Rocky Mountain?
Rocky Mountain Way. That's not the James Gang. No, it's Joe Walsh solo.
Yes. James Gang was Funk 49 and Walk Away. That was the two big hits from that band. And one thing I want to know, did he ever do any Glenn Fry songs in honor of Glenn, who passed away a few years before that tour? Because Glenn came up with some good solo hits, like The Heat Is On, The One You Love, Party Town, True Love.
Yeah, I'm playing that song on my stream, Brown, Don Henley song, so folks can hear it. I'm playing the instrumental on that.
All right, nice. Let's hear it, dude.
What year did this come out?
Which one? The Boys of Summer?
Dirty Laundry.
Dirty Laundry came out in 1982.
1982.
Yes.
I'm taking my shirt off right now, guys.
All right.
Oh, no.
I must be. What a great song. All right, so let's do a track listing, but also I want to get into maybe one of you guys can have the track list or, Ark, but then Brown, can you look we need to find like the when each song, or if any of those songs hit the Billboard top 100 or made it to number one or anything like that, like the charts. Look up the actual, on that, so we could break that down.
I don't think it. I'm not too sure. It doesn't state here if it. Let's see here. Blah blah blah.
Like, type in Hotel California.
I have
Billboard.
it on the Wikipedia.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay.
Which I think, would you all agree that the Eagles' number one most popular song is Hotel California? Would you all agree with that?
I believe so. I believe so, because that's what it always gets played mostly on some of these classic rock stations.
I mean, I feel like Fast Lane, Life in the Fast Lane, that's right up there that I hear on the radio as well.
Yeah, as well, yeah. Now, do they edit out the word GD word out of that song? Because back then they used to play that song all the way through without any editing.
I don't know, but there's probably 20 or 30 songs that everyone's heard of. It's everyone's heard. Maybe not that much, but there's a lot. 15 to 20, easy. That people, I mean, on this whole album, right? Yep. But like you said, Ark, there's albums before and after this.
That's true.
So what did Hotel California chart on the? Did you find that?
I'm looking at it right now. Let me go to it there.
Because I wonder which went the highest on the charts at that time on that album.
Let's see here. Let me look on the thing here.
Because that would tell us at that time, Brown, that what really the most popular one was at, like which one. I mean, a lot of them might have charted number one. We don't know yet. Go ahead.
I'm going to read the release part of the Wikipedia regarding this album. It was released in December of 1976 on vinyl, cassette, and 8-track cartridge formats. It was considered for quadraphonic release in early 1977, but this idea was dropped following the demise of the quadraphonic format. On the album's 25th anniversary in 2001, it was released as a multi-channel 5.1 DVD audio disc, and in August of 2011, it was released on a hybrid SACD in Japan in the Warner Premium Sound series, containing both a stereo and a 5.1 mix. Original vinyl pressings of the album had custom picture labels of a blue Hotel California logo with a yellow background. There are also texts engraved in a run-out groove of each side, continuing an in-joke trend that the band had started with their third album, On the Border. The text reads, Side 1, if it's 6 o'clock yet. Side 2 says, VOL is 5-piece live, indicating that the song Victim of Love was recorded in a live session in the studio with no overdubbing. Joel Walsh and Glenn Frey confirmed this on the inner booklet of The Very Best Of. This only referred in the instrumental track, however. The lead vocal and harmony for the chorus were later added in. This was in response to those who criticized the Eagles' practice of overdubbing of instruments, and that they were too clinical and of soulness of the studio. They wanted to demonstrate that they could play together without any overdubs if they wanted to. Now, there was a 40th anniversary edition released on November of 2017. This set includes an original remastered album and a second CD that features 10 live tracks from the concert at the Forum in LA, recorded in October of 1976, 2 months before the release of the album. The bonus CD was also reissued as a stand-alone vinyl LP in 2021. Really? Yes. So you can find it on vinyl with, I guess, one of those backstage pass laminates included on it. Now,
Tell me where
the
to
album,
go.
the album was
Steve, hello,
immediate.
quick.
Hmm?
SC Steve, this is a fact, and I'm being serious. SC Steve, in the Latino community, Hotel California / the Eagles, like it's popular, right?
Oh, bro, you'll always catch us playing that at the pool tables. You know what I mean?
It is a fact.
You'd be like
It is.
this.
Yep.
I find it
surprise.
interesting.
No
Go
surprise.
ahead, Ryan.
Wait. Okay. Well, now
Wait.
the album was also nominated for Album of the Year, but lost to another successful album that we mentioned earlier. Below, Fleetwood Mac's "Rumors," which in 1977, 3 singles were released from the album. The ones we mentioned: "New Kid in Town," the title track, and "Life in the Fast Lane."
You know, you just did this. Oh. I'm trying to mute. Sorry, Brown. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, the album has been certified 26 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America in the US and has sold over 33 million units worldwide, making it the band's second best-selling album.
You remember Kiss Double Platinum?
Yes, I remember that album. I remember seeing the TV ad for that album.
So Kiss Double Platinum only went platinum twice, and you're saying Hotel California album went 26 times?
Well, it's still, well, let me guess, 26 times platinum by the RIAA in the US and has sold over 32 million units worldwide, making it the band's second best-selling album after their greatest hits release, which came out in 1975. Ranked by various publications as one of the greatest albums of all time, it was placed at number 37 on Rolling Stone's list of 500 greatest albums of all time in 2003, and in 2012 repositioned at number 118 in the 2020 edition. A 40th anniversary special edition was released in November of 2017, which we already spoke of minutes ago.
Let's do a track list and kind of talk about the tracks.
Okay, just give me for a second there,
Real
guys.
quick, Earl, what toothpaste do you use? Your teeth are shiny.
Crest. Okay.
Dude, his teeth are white as hell. Wow.
Do we have AEW tonight?
Music Mungos tonight, or no? I don't think Ark and YR watches wrestling anymore, right, Art?
Mm-mm.
What?
He's over that shit. I think he only used to watch To Be with Cronin, right?
Well, now McMahon's not
No,
booked.
I did it before Cronin was born.
No, you stopped watching, I said.
Maybe about that time.
Now, what's your thoughts on the whole Vince McMahon thing?
Oh, God. We'll get into that, I think, tomorrow night.
No.
All that down tomorrow.
We're doing that now. No.
NC, come on.
No.
We're doing it tomorrow.
No.
All right, you're muted. We're doing it tomorrow. All right. They're trying to boss everyone around like Rojas. I'm glad SC Steve likes Hotel California and the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Like,
did we lose Earl?
I think he went and took a shit.
You see, there's that awkward silence, but we don't want to talk about the Vince McMahon thing. You guys rather have awkward silence?
Well, we do, but not tonight.
Tomorrow, but
But wait, let's wait till Earl comes back. In the meantime, what are your thoughts on the Vince McMahon thing?
oh, we support it. We like McMahon. We're glad what Mr. McMahon did, and he set a precedent for something huge here in WWE. And
Are we on the precipice of something huge?
Or on the precipice of a mongoloid.
Here he comes.
Yeah, he got the toothpaste.
What's up?
He got the toothpaste.
Give me a couple minutes. What you got? What you got?
Whoa.
Did you say Scott there?
Scott showed up? What the fuck?
I'm a minority member, bro. I'm here to protect her.
I get that now.
I'm getting better at that, right?
I get it now. What you mean with that? I get
You know the
it.
minority member flag?
Yes.
I'm a minority. I'm a member of the minorities. Here to protect her.
Danger, danger. How does Scott feel with Omegle being shut down?
Come on.
They closed it. That website doesn't exist.
SC, did you have anything for dinner today, or?
Well, when you hung up on us, I made dinner. So, idiots.
Well, I don't know what happened to Earl. He's not. We can see his fan.
Well, in the meantime, I guess we could talk about the whole wrestling thing.
Tomorrow night.
Do you feel like you're gonna speak with Cronin again? Would you speak with Cronin again?
Yeah. I just haven't done it. He goes on about my bedtime.
Comes on the show all the time, man.
He comes joins our show. Do you follow RY's channel?
Follow it where? Where's it going?
Do you subscribe to it? Are you subscribed
Oh,
to
yeah.
RY's channel?
What is it now? The entertainment channel? He keeps changing the name.
Right?
That's okay. I mean, you want to do that.
Well, Cronin joins our streams at times. We're gonna tag you next time he's with us. We'll tag you so you can join.
It is an entertaining channel, SC, you know?
I do get it.
Yeah, I don't have no issue with Cronin. He comes on at times I'm usually in bed. I'm old. I go to bed early. What can I say?
Did you ever watch any of the Drama Club streams?
Negative.
Yeah, I've watched a few of them.
Wow.
After they were recorded, I didn't do it during.
No, you caught some, obviously, yeah. What are your thoughts on the whole Drama Club back then?
I don't really get into that stuff. It's just
but we should.
I think this is a music show. Can you ask him about music, please? Come on.
Negative.
What's your opinion about the Drama Club?
Well, what album should we cover next after Earl comes back? Rumors?
Who is your favorite Drama Club member?
What? I don't know. Don't
Who
really
could
have
you
an
relate
opinion.
with the most then? Who could you relate with the most?
Guys, I am back. I just got done taking a shit. And
who could you relate with the most from the Drama Club?
I don't know. I don't have anything going on with anybody.
Dr. Brown, what toothpaste do you use? I use a Crest.
What's up?
Your teeth are so white. What toothpaste do you use?
Who, me?
Pepsodent. You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent.
Dr. Brown, would you go take a shit and get a coffee?
No, I had to take care of a couple of things here and get me something to drink as well.
I ordered a Starbucks from Grubhub. You know what I mean?
I am the best harmonica player in the community. That is true. Thank you.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
All right.
No, let's not.
Fine.
Track list.
Okay, let's do this. All right.
Side 1.
Okay. Side 1 is, of course, the title cut, Simply Hotel California. New Kid in Town.
Cover bands actually tried to cover that one. Not an easy song to do because we didn't have 5 guitars.
That's true there, yes. I know there was a singer named Al B. Sure that he did his cover excuse me, he did his cover version of that song. I think it was around 1990. I think it was. It was a more soulful version. And I know there was a Elektra Records anniversary edition, which the Gypsy Kings, a Latino group, did their version of that song.
Texnolia.
You heard of them Latino group, SC Gypsy Kings?
Yes.
Really? It's popular?
Yes.
Very popular.
I remember the band Spick Kings. That was a good band too. Okay.
All right.
What?
Okay, the third track from side one.
Second track.
New Kid in Town.
Okay.
Which was what I guess the other third, which is one of the other 3 singles that were released from the album that made it big. And of course, the third, Life in the Fast Lane, and the Wasted Time concludes side 1.
It's a pretty decent song.
Yep. Side 2 opens with Wasted Time Reprise. Victim of Love is the second track. Pretty Maids All in a Row, which I guess is a Joe Walsh composed song. I know they performed that song during the Hell Freezes Over performance that ran on MTV.
Yeah.
Try and Love Again was the fourth track. And the last one was called The Last Resort.
That is an outstanding song.
Yes.
I know that song. This is my last resort. Suffocation. No breathing. No give a fuck.
No.
What other last resort? There's only one last resort. Obviously, it's called The Last Resort. It's the only last one.
Nope.
All right. Clearly, you guys have never had a childhood.
We did.
I
had mine before you were born.
Let's see, come on.
Same here.
I was born in 82. What do you mean?
What?
Kid.
All right. Kid. Respect your elders.
You're still, SE, you're still a prospect, okay?
Still a prospect.
And you're still a pothead, idiot.
What?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead. Song number 2, brother.
Song number. You already did the tracks on the album.
That fast?
That fast.
All right.
If you call it Someplace Paradise, kiss it goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Now, on the 40th anniversary bonus disc, live at the LA Forum, they have Take It Easy, Take It to the Limit, New Kid in Town, James Dean, one of their other earlier songs that were played on the radio a lot of times. Good Day in Hell, Witchy Woman. I know that song got judged massively by the Christian fundamentalists. Funk 49, the James Gang song, which Walsh was a part of. One of These Nights, Hotel California, and Already Gone.
Another great song that the Hispanic culture loves and accepts is Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, by the way, speaking of lawsuits, allegedly stolen lyric sheets. In July of 2022, 3 men, all involved in rare book and memorabilia dealing, were indicted by a Manhattan, New York City grand jury on felony charges of conspiracy and possession of stolen property. One was further charged with hindering prosecution. Prosecutors alleged they had forged provenance documents attempting to demonstrate that they were the lawful owners of some of Glenn Frey and Don Henley's original drafts for lyrics of songs for the album, including the Hotel California title cut, Life of the Fast Lane, and New Kid in Town, when they were in fact new. Those materials handed around 100 handwritten pages on yellow notebook paper, estimated to be worth about $1 million in total, to have been stolen. The plot had then come to light after having sold Henley some of the documents for 8,000. Who's talking in the background?
I'm sorry. She sent me a voice message. I'm sorry. I didn't think you guys could hear that. I'm sorry.
Wrong.
You're right. They returned to Finland. They returned to Henley, offering to sell him more than after listing them as Sotheby's 4 years later, when he then filed a complaint with the New York City County District Attorney's Office. All three protested their innocence through their attorneys. The three were alleged to have acquired the documents from Ed Saunders, a journalist who had been hired to write an autobiography of the band around the time of Hotel California. Saunders did not finish the work until the band had broken up in 1980 and the project was eventually canceled. He is not charged or named in the indictment, but in the news release announcing it, the DA's office described the papers as originally stolen in the 1970s by an author who had been hired to write a biography of the band. The indictment also quotes an individual one as telling one of the indicted men in the email that he was, quote, staying at Henley's place in Malibu and had total access to boxes of stuff. There were a lot, and I compiled the box of files, according to the individual, that I wanted, and his assistant mailed them to me. End of quote. The Los Angeles Times found also that an achieved version of the 2016 Sotheby's listing online identified Saunders as the then owner. Now, in the position that the album peaked all around the world, it peaked at #1 in Australia. It peaked at #9 in the Australian albums. And it peaked at #1 in the Dutch albums and also in the Canada top albums. The Finnish albums, which of course is Finnish, it was at #2. It was at #2 in the French album chart, #3 in the German album charts, in the Italian album charts, it was #12. In Japan, it was #2. New Zealand, Norwegian, the album was the #1. In Spanish, it was also #1. In the US, it was #1. In the UK as well. And in Sweden, it was at #3.
If I may, now that you bring up Italian, Ark, what do you think about Ken's Treehouse, brother?
Come on, man. We got the drama show coming up after this show, man. Can you please be respectful, man?
Yeah, save it for later.
Hey, save your breath for later, idiot. Don't tell me when to save my breath.
I just did. All right,
come
Darius.
closer to the screen. Come closer to the screen.
I don't know anything about a Ken's Treehouse or anything of that nature.
Come closer to the screen, Earl. Get closer to the screen, brother. Get closer. A little bit closer.
Earl, come on, man.
I'm sick and tired of him. He doesn't add nothing.
SC, still, get off the show.
I'll mute myself.
The fuck off the show! I don't give a fuck! Got a show just for you, SC, right after this one. Can you behave? God, guy's a fucking psycho. Go ahead.
He won't. He doesn't want to.
I'll stop.
You're a fucking pedo.
All right, so YR, you mentioned about doing a WrestleManiac spotlighted on the Vince McMahon legal situation that he's going through right now. Everybody's talking about it. So I Gmailed Ark if he's interested in doing this particular show. You up for it, Ark?
Oh, why not?
Okay,
I probably hadn't got a thing to add, but you can talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. We got to talk about it because this is the big talk what's going on within the pro wrestling world right now.
Dr. Brown, I want to go through the whole page of the 80-page court documents on that. We
definitely do so. Yeah, I would hear about this myself, man, because like I want to find out how low down this guy has become. Definitely.
Always was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good point.
I can remember Trish Stratus barking like a dog.
Yeah. Well, that was mostly on the storyline. We don't know about this is mostly behind closed doors. We also got to bring up their first female referee. Rita Marie was her ring name. And she was apparently stating that Vince McMahon took advantage of her a few times before. So,
I mean, respectfully, I tried to bring it up earlier, but people were like, no, save it for tomorrow. So why is it okay if they talk about it now? But when I try
just mention it as a hype.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
All right. So I guess this concludes our episode of Music Maniacs. And what album are we doing next week, Ark, by chance?
Well, there's so many to choose from because we're going for landmark albums that made an impact, not just albums.
Yep.
That would be like Rumors. I mentioned Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, but nobody seems to be interested in that one.
Well, I'll be interested in that one. I like to learn about this album, that's for sure. I'll let you definitely have the grand take on that.
Anytime you got an album that influenced Sgt. Pepper, there's got to be something to it.
Absolutely. I know
Black Sabbath's first.
Yeah, definitely got to dig into that. That's for sure. I know why I expressed an interest in that, and so do I, to be honest, because when I listened to that album, I was like, whoa, blown away by it.
Well, and the fact that it was the first full-scale rock opera, you got The Who by Tommy by The Who.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next?
Absolutely. We got to talk about those albums for sure.
I don't know. Pick one.
Okay, so YR, what do you like to do next Wednesday?
What were the albums?
Well, we talked about Tommy by The Who, Black Sabbath first, Rumors by Fleetwood. What?
Do Sabbath. I don't like The Who, and do Fleetwood Mac.
Well, hang on. Just because you don't like The Who doesn't mean it can't be discussed.
No one likes The Who. Come on, man.
I like The Who.
Oh, that's right. They sold millions of records to people that didn't like them.
Let's do that.
Come on.
Let's do it as last, though. Let's do the other ones first, though. We can still do it.
That's fine.
Okay, we'll do Black Sabbath's first album next Wednesday. Sound good, guys?
Yeah. You know what's kind of weird, though, is Deep Purple's one of the landmark groups, but did they really have an album that was considered a landmark album?
Machine Head.
Maybe. But really? I mean, they didn't have anything on the level of, Sabbath's first or whatever, which was odd because that group was a landmark group.
Yeah, it's true there. Most definitely.
Before we end, the chat has a couple questions for you too. Art. Earl, the chat's wondering who taught you English? Who was your teacher?
What
kind of a question is that?
Okay, you don't have to answer. Ark, the chat is wondering what is your favorite position?
Favorite position? I don't know. Sitting. Oh, you're talking. Okay.
That's I figure. It doesn't add anything to the music show.
You don't add anything to the show. It's called Breaking the Ice.
One goes to the stream yard. Got the community stream coming up after this. Everyone's invited.
Earl thinks he's like fucking like Joe Biden.
Shut up.
You're the next Joe Biden.
We'll see you guys next weekend. Okay.
We'll see you in about 5 minutes.
Bye bye.
Dr. Brown, tomorrow we can talk about Vince McMahon. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll do that for shizzle.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye-bye. All right.
Tomorrow. Sorry.
Tomorrow. Exactly. Yeah. Jeez, we got confused there.
Yeah.
For